So welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Susannah Cole. I run the Good Property Company, great website for you guys, but also this YouTube channel, and there are tons and tons of great videos divided into really well organized playlists so that you can get the best out of the YouTube channel. But today, how would you like to get £16,750, boom, in the bank on a Friday afternoon? I hope you would. And I'm going to talk you through how we did it, and I'm going to weave through tons of really useful, important and practical tips for you so that you can also do the same thing. Let's talk about the deal that got me a whopping £16,750 in the bank on a Friday afternoon. But remember, subscribe, like, and if this is a useful video to you or any of your friends that want to be a deal packager, deal sourcer, do be a sweetheart and send it on to them. Now, Argyll Street was actually 4 deals, not 1 deal. It was a block of flats. All of them were 1-bedroom flats, and we used to do this quite regularly as a deal packager. You would take, if a block of flats sounds more fancy than it is, you would essentially take a house that had been developed up to 4 1-bed flats. Occasionally there might be studios, but typically it'd be developed up into 1 or 2-bedroom flats. It would be a residential house developed to its maximum, and then the thing is, the developer at that point had maybe run out of money, needed to sell quickly, or had already bought another project, needed to sell quickly, or had slowly realized, if it was their first project of that size, that they don't get paid until the bank fully gets paid back. So if they sell discounted, then they're just not paying the interest for the next 6 months until they've sold all 4. So actually for them, it's the same end cash value. So if you understand that position, as a deal packager, buying small blocks of flats or houses converted into flats, 4 flats, 6 flats, 8 flats, and then dividing them up and selling them individually to investors is a fantastic route to go. And I'm going to talk to you about that just shortly. So my first tip to you guys is, don't just think as a deal packager, I'm going to find 1 property to match 1 investor, but 4 beds, 6 beds, 8 beds within 1 building, flats I mean, within 1 building is an amazing opportunity for you as a deal packager. So I've told you why a developer might want to sell as a package. Now, why would a tired landlord want to sell as a package? Why are they just ready to go, ready to sell, and they don't split them up individually and sell them for more money individually? Well, there's probably 4 reasons why they don't do this. And so this is where you need to get good at solving building problems or legal problems. Number 1, they're just tired. They want shot, they want speed. Number 2, they don't know about the option to individually split the title and sell off the flats. They just have lack of knowledge, and it's going to cost them like 100 to 200 grand more. Number 3, it will cost them money up front. Maybe they have to do some renovations and it's going to cost them legal money to split title. So even if they do know about it, maybe they're just like, I'm done. I want out of here. And number 4, and I find this quite often, if they've been in the market for a very long time, they either, in the good old days, or not the good old days, in the kind of old days of yore, did up the properties illegally into flats, or they're not currently fit for specification. And where you'll find your specification for your flats is on the planning portal of your local council, giving you the room sizes that you need. So they are technically flats, but effectively they're kind of illegal flats. And so you or your investors are going to need to rectify those flats before they can be mortgaged. So at that point, you're probably going to need at least 1 or 2 of your investors to be cash buyers or get it with bridging. But the deal is going to be good. So it's going to be really worth it. So my second tip is, you need to get good at either sorting out the legal problems or the building problems or the building regulation problems, because again, that's where you're going to make money as a deal packager, and understand the scope of the project so you can explain it to your investors. And the amazing thing about you buying a set of 4 flats in 1 building is that you just don't have competition. Because the big companies, you know, the pension companies, they're like, we want to buy 180 flats, yeah? 4 flats are too small. The individual people buying a house, well, I can't live in 4 flats, I need to buy 1. And then normally property investors are like, well, I'm buying 1 property at a time. So there's very little competition, boom. So again, price drops. So problems, price drops. Speed, price drops. Lack of competition, price drops. You, my friend, get yourself a deal. Your investors get an amazing deal. You get paid. In this case, I got paid over £16,000 on a Friday afternoon. And why was it being sold? In this case, it was simply a tired landlord wanted shot. So what did we do? We released each deal to our investors independently, and they were deal number 176, 177, 178 and 179. So by that point we were pretty experienced, we were going some. Each of our investors used the same set of solicitors. So basically, and we used to have a panel of 3 solicitors for our investors. So it meant that the solicitors could split title at point of mortgage. So each of our investors was a client of the exact same solicitor, so this one solicitor dealt with the entire case. It meant that splitting the title was super easy because you don't have solicitors talking to each other, it's just the same person. It's easy, isn't it? And we always insisted that our investors worked with our panel of solicitors because, again, it was just an easier process, and they're bound to them by client care, aren't they, anyway? So on that one, here's your tip. Supply the lawyers so that you can control the legal development of the deal. If you can't control the legal process within the deal, you're more than likely to lose the deal. And I learned that through tough experience. Next, how did we do it? Well, I had written a business plan to say I'm going to do about 25 JVs and 25 source deals in a year. You know, I forget the exact numbers, but it was roughly half and half because we're doing about 50 deals a year. So on this one, just because when it came to fruition, it was like, okay, let's look at the plan. Where are we at in the strategy? What's missing? What's still to go? Okay. And we sold 3 as source deals and we did 1 as a joint venture. So tip. Go back to your business plan, which you've set out before you find the deal, and go, how does this fit within my plan before I then sell it on to my investors? Had I been missing more joint ventures, I'd have sold them more as joint ventures. Had I been completely overloaded with joint ventures, they'd have all gone as source deals. But in this case, 3 were source deals. We got paid the money immediately. 1 was a joint venture where we got paid after it was bought, renovated, sold. So that was a longer term, but of course we got more money. Next tip for you is get paid on exchange as a deal packager. What is your job? Your job is to legally give your investors the deal. So when does that happen? Actually, it happens on exchange because that's at the point that they've exchanged contracts. So why would you think that you'll just wait until completion to get paid? Because completion is really about them supplying the money to pay for the property. Exchange is you supplying the legal title and now it's legally theirs. Get paid on exchange, you get paid a lot faster that way. Next tip is how to ensure not to get ripped off. Now, I reckon about 2% of people are a bit, what I might call funny. Yeah, 98% of people are great, so I don't want you to worry about this too much, but at the same time, you will have some naughty investors who I wonder if I don't need to pay for this. The answer is yes, you do. So what we used to do, and partly because of the naughty investors, but more than anything because when people are buying houses, it's stressful. It might be the first time they bought an investment property. They're not used to the process. We used to remind people well in advance. Often people will have a limit, like whether it's 20 grand, 30 grand, 50 grand on a daily transfer or from their bank account. So they may be, and you can't afford, when you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 investors buying a property on a Friday afternoon, you can't afford somebody to mess it up, okay? So you will, about 10 days in advance, you resubmit your deal packaging invoice to your investor and also to the solicitor, which of course is supplied by you, so that you get paid. And then you start gently, almost like a matron, reminding the person that they need to be transferring money across and they want to get it across early into the solicitors. The 10% for exchange plus the 5% for your deal sourcing fee. And they want to do it well in advance in case there's any kind of bank cock-ups. I once had a bank lose my deposit on a property, 75 grand, lost it. I mean, I got it back, but it took about 10 days. So, and also you don't want your investor on the Friday morning going, turns out I forgot to transfer the money and now it's too late. I'm going to work. I can't go into the bank to sign whatever documents. So remind your investors in advance and get them to transfer your fee to your solicitor, like starting 10 days in advance. And that means everybody's ready financially on the Friday for you to get paid 16,750 quid. Nice tip, eh? And on this one, we had one lady, naming no names because I don't think it's fair, who was known to be not, shall we say, keen to pay her bills. So I had to repeatedly, gently, calmly, politely remind her to put the 10% across. She was quite keen to put the 10% across, but also to put our fee across. Now, I like our fee going into the solicitors, and a bit like an estate agent, then the solicitor pays you on exchange. So I just had to phone her up on a repeated, gentle, calm basis, which basically said, you're not going to get away with this. But obviously we were keeping it more polite than that. So behind the scenes, I mean, everybody's like, oh, deal packaging's so easy. Oh, there are speed bumps. And that lady was definitely a speed bump. We didn't work with her again. So in the end, what happened? We got paid on a Friday afternoon, £16,750. 3 of the deals just went straight off to the person buying them, and then that was it. That was up to them to do what they wanted. And 1, we did a joint venture, a buy to sell, with one of my favorite investors, an all-time lovely people I'm still friends with now. He came to visit me recently on his motorbike, and I was like, oh, look at that bike. And it was an absolute pleasure to work with them. So we made a little bit more when we were buying and selling that as well. So we got top-up fees, if you like, 6 months later. So what I want to do here is taking this live case study of 16,750 quid, woohoo, which to be honest, you can do too. Let me recap the tips for you. But before we do that, can I ask you, like, subscribe, share this video, because it really helps me out and it helps your colleagues, your friends, your peers see more videos, and it's a brilliant YouTube channel. But also hop onto my website. It's called thegoodpropertycompany.co.uk. It is stacked with immediately downloadable information for you, all about property, all to help you succeed on deal sourcing, deal packaging, finding investors, getting started, a checklist for you to download, webinars for you to listen to. It's a cracking website. So go and have a really good look. So let me recap the tips for you. So tip number 2 is to get discounted deals, you're either solving the seller's problem or the building's problem. So get educated on finance and get educated on renovation. Tip number 3, as a deal sourcer, you can make even more money as a joint venture. So once you've got a good group of investors, decide how many deals am I going to do as a deal sourcer and how many am I going to do as JV? Even more money. Tip number 4, supply the lawyers to your investors. It allows you to control the deal. It allows you to move the thing forward swiftly in order to get a resolution, to get them the amazing deals you're going to supply, and to get you your deal fee. And tip number 5, get paid on exchange. So there you go. £16,750. Nothing too difficult. You could do it too. And I absolutely want you to get started in property, and good luck to you. Sourcing discounted deals, it is the basis of all property wealth. I have written a pack for you guys. You can download it right now. 45 million quid's worth of property, agreed sourcing price for 30 million quid. All that information in that pack.